US President Donald Trump says America has struck Iranian nuclear facilities. This has just come in now. He's confirmed the attack on his social media platform, Truth Social, saying the US hit 3 nuclear sites in Iran. He says all planes are now outside of Iranian airspace and they are now returning home. Fawzia, some extraordinary developments just moments ago.
It certainly has. If you remember, Donald Trump had said that he would give Iran 2 weeks to negotiate before actually perhaps joining in this conflict.
He's as though he did not need much time at all.
No, he didn't. Let's now go to our former Middle East correspondent, Ben Knight, who joins us in the studio. Ben, we had thought that there would be at least 2 weeks. We were not expecting this to happen now. What do you make of this decision?
I'm a bit shocked, to be honest. When Donald Trump gives a 2-week timeline, it could mean anything. I mean, it could mean tomorrow. It could mean 2 weeks. He's always had a habit of pushing things out for 2 weeks that he doesn't necessarily want to make a decision on at that time. But obviously, something like this has been in train for potentially the last 24 hours, and now it's happened. The news we woke to this morning, of course, in Australia was that the United States had moved those B-2 bombers into the region. We were talking a couple of hours ago about whether that was perhaps a sort of negotiating move, a show of strength to indicate to Iran that the United States was serious as perhaps a way of getting talks towards a ceasefire or another nuclear deal to end a nuclear program underway. It now looks as though it was those B-2 bombers were moving there to do what they've just done. I think this. We're also talking this morning about potential unforeseen circumstances, but repercussions. There'll also be foreseen repercussions. The first one is from the beginning. Iran was saying that if the United States entered this conflict, whether it was through missile strikes or even defending Israel from incoming missiles, let alone this, that Iran would respond, and it would respond against United States military assets in the region. There are a lot of United States military assets in the region. There are even more now. It's not just the B-2 bombers that have been moved in. There's now a second aircraft carrier group that has been moved in. Lots of refuelling aircraft, lots of fighter aircraft have been moved in. But that's on top of the thousands of American military personnel who are permanently stationed there at bases that are dotted all over the Gulf and around the Middle East. They're now targets.
I mean, a perilous decision for the US, not just because of that Iranian or the prospect of Iranian retaliation, but also Donald Trump personally, right? He won the White House on this idea that he'd keep America out of these conflicts. He scoffed at the idea of American interventionism. Sounds like the complete opposite is happening now. He's being dragged further in to these conflicts.
Yeah, and people would be aware that this debate, this divide has been going inside the conservative side of American politics over the past couple of days. I'm sure people have seen that clip of Tucker Carlson and Ted Cruz essentially representing the old guard of the Republican Party, the Iran hawks, the side that is very comfortable with the United States exercising its power in foreign wars, and the other side, Tucker Carlson, essentially Trump's own MAGA side of politics. As you say, Donald Trump campaigned on keeping America out of foreign conflicts, particularly in the Middle East. He talked about how the Gaza war would never have happened.
Ending the forever wars.
Yeah, the
Ukraine over in a day.
Like these things would. The Ukraine war would never have started if I was president. I can fix these things. I can solve them. And it's also about campaigning on the mistakes of the Bush administration, particularly in getting into the biggest forever war of all, which was the Iraq conflict. The Iraq conflict, which was based on faulty intelligence that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. We've now seen Donald Trump not only do a 180 on whether the United States should get involved in those things, but essentially dismissing the advice of his own intelligence community that Iran does not appear to be developing a nuclear weapon. It's a nuanced argument, but it's just this strange historical thing that you had The intelligence community telling George W. Bush that there were weapons of mass destruction. That turned out to be wrong. It turned into a disastrous war. Now you have the intelligence community saying there's no evidence that Iran is pursuing a nuclear weapon. Donald Trump is ignoring that and going to war again.
Parallels you
it
can
does
see there.
seem this Iraq playbook is coming into play again. I just want to remind our audience now, if you just joined us, you are watching Weekend Breakfast. We're breaking news here. US President Donald Trump has said on his Truth Social platform that the US forces has bombed Iran's nuclear sites. I want to read to you what he actually said on his post. We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordow. Now, that's a very important site.